Ballad of Tom and Jane by Amy Eddings.
Come ye, a fair ballad for this fair day, madam. I've love, war, scandal, news from the colonies. No? Stop for a song, sir. All sorts to suit all moods, tragical, comical, historical, hummable, newest airs, raciest rhymes. You know this tune, young master. Dum bum ba-dum bum bum. Come now, you must. 'Tis as popular as your sweet mother was once, with the sailors down at Tobacco Wharf. Calm yourself, madam. It's all in jest. A little ribaldry keeps the spirits up. And other things, eh, sir? Ha! I've a love ballad here about a poor girl who's ruined by her black-hearted master and likes it so much she ruins herself over with another 10 men. 20 verses of ruination, all in heart-rending detail, with a woodcut too. It's the sweetest little melody too, melts in the throat like honey. There, sir! Try a line. I particularly recommend verse 5. Just twopence halfpenny for the ballad of romping Rachel. All right, twopence, but I can't go lower. Pity a poor chapman trying to earn a crust. Thank you, sir. Satisfaction guaranteed, if this don't make you stiffer than a day-old corpse. The religious verses, hymns of grace. Morning, Father, what a surprise. Hear a holy broadside to the air of the Sussex carol. Does wonders on the continent, it does. Made hardened sinners fall down in worship, as full as piety, as a piety pie, no? A saint's life, then. Maybe I've St. Thomas, St. Peter, all the Annes, St. Valentine. Ah, perhaps not that version. Or would you prefer a nice miracle? There's the weeping version of Pisa and the man cured of death at Hamburg. That only happened last month. He's as fresh as today's haddock on my oath. Very well, Father. Thank you, God bless.
Because he was charming and loved with his eyes, I found him disarming and swallowed his lies. He said he would wed me once May turned to June, but the rogue only bed me and left me in ruin. And if you want to hear the rest, ladies and gentlemen, buy the ballad of Jilted Jane, just a penny halfpence. A tale of arts lost and maidenhead spoiled, what makes romping Rachel look like a Scottish nun.
There's a nice song to be singing near priests and infants. For shame, woman, trilling your filth all over my patch. As a man to feed his children with haberdans snatching the bread from their very mouths.
Children, is it? That reminds me, ladies, of John Tinker of York and his bastard brood. 14 children he sired on 6 different women, and one day they all up and beat him to death for his wicked ways and lived happily ever after. Stops a man straying, that story, believe me. Morrow, young lady, hear the tale of Mary Tofts, a Godalming girl. She was so frightened by a rabbit she fell down pregnant, and when the babes were born, all 9 was rabbits. True story, miss. The king's surgeon examined her. One of them grew up to be a parson. A love ballad, then? Will you have comic, tragic, or bawdy? I've a virgin ravaged by a pirate, a serving man maddened by love, what he thinks is a tree. Here's one about a clever maid marries her master. Oh, I thought you'd like that one. Penny halfpence for that, dear. My prices are honest, see? Thank you, I'm sure. You in service yourself? Aye, me too. Till I was brung down in the world by a man's treachery. A ballad in itself, that is. There, my sweet, is called Soft Words and Hot Rum, with plenty good advice for poor girls meant for better things. And good luck to you, dear. Better luck than mine. Good day.
For Tom, he was handsome, and Tom, he was smart. He sought love and found some in Jane Mitchell's heart. And though he was daring the gold for to win, his wench was uncaring and turned poor Tom in. And if you'd hear the real story of Tom, the pop boy turned highwayman, and Jane, his faithless harlot, By the tale of Tom Robber, wrongly hanged at Horsemonger Lane. They say when Jane wept her tears were of flint, and when they opened Tom the anatomy table, his heart was gold so pure you could bite it, and his spirit jumped to heaven like a jack-in-a-box. Twopence only for this stirring story.
That your latest ballad? Raggedy news of a blundering cutpurse? Tom Robbins hanged 20 years back. Besides, that Tom's robbed his tune off my jilted Jane. Now there's a story never grows old, ladies. A poor, simple lass deceived by the promises of a greedy upstart. Oh, much obliged, madam. That's a penny halfpence or twopence for Jane and the pirate's mistress together. My prices are fair and my tune's true. My print is clear and my news is new, not like some folk would sell you ancient history as London's latest. Got to watch that sort, ain't we, girls? Skin you soon as look at you, like one of Mary Toff's rabbit babies. Well, I can't divulge the ending, but Jane Mitchell was a serving wench at the Hog's Back Inn nearby. True story, as I'm standing here. I had it from her very lips. That's why my version's the God-honest gospel. Oh, it's a sad tale, miss.
Ballad of Romping Rachel, penny halfpence and the 21st verse, free. Too scandalous to print, so I'll whisper it in your ear.
A very sad tale. Now, it happened 12 years ago when young Jane was just 17 and a more innocent creature the world never knew. She had a face like a daisy and a daisy like a... oh, well, never mind what. I mean, she was fresh, miss, like you, with petal soft skin what had never known the rough touch of a man.
Song of Stephen the Strangler, a penny for his first and worst crime, twopence for the other 4. Throttled 5 women before they caught him, including his scolding mother, what never shut up. And who can blame the poor fella?
One day, a lad called Tom Robbins came to the inn. He was an orphan whose family died in the last plague. Oh, you're too young to remember, but he'd survived with nary a pockmark. His hair was golden and his eyes blue as heaven's wallpaper. First, he was hired as a groom's boy, but soon the landlord saw his shining smile and winning ways had served better inside than out, clearing tables and taking up pots to wash. Well, serving the victuals was Jane, of course. She brung out the plates of what he took back cold, and now and again they'd pass on the floor. His breeches might brush against her petticoats, his eye might catch hers, and so on. At last, his hand touched her hand, and they reached for the same salt cellar, and then, burn me for a witch if the poor girl wasn't head over heels in love by nightfall.
Tale of the Exeter witch. She cursed men with her poisonous tongue, and when they opened her grave it was still wagging away. Penny for the verses and halfpence for the refrain.
The Exeter witch? Don't make me laugh. Ain't you got any new songs to sing, or has your brain gone soft as your old piddle? Excuse the interruption, miss. Where was I? What happened next? What always happens to headstrong girls who meet aunts and boys without a mother's care to protect them. She was lost. So there you are. 2 young hearts struck with love as old men are struck with ague or madness. A Hampshire Romeo and Juliet they was, on fire to marry but without money to live. So Tom, who can ride like the wind on any horse born, forms a daring plan.
Oh, hearken now to my grisly tale. Though St. Jad's long dead, it's not grown stale. 'Twas pious a man, and he earned God's boon, living 7 years with a seeping wound.
Christ, here's twopence halfpenny, you old varlet. Buy a pie to stop your nasty mouth, or better a pint of gin to wash it out.
Awful good of you, mistress. Thought you'd never ask. Don't mind if I hearken to your interesting story, do you?
Tom decides that the next rich-looking traveller stopping at the inn, soon as he rides off again, Tom will give chase and rob him. Then Jane sneaks out with clothes and food in the valley beyond, and off they run together. Now the robbery went off perfect, but when Jane goes to gather Tom's things before meeting him, imagine what she finds.
A handsome reward for turning king's evidence, was it?
Love tokens, and not just one neither. A love note from the cook, 30 and warty too. A ribbon from the parlourmaid's cap, even a shining lock of blonde hair curled in a bit of paper, what could only belong to the landlord's daughter. He'd been playing her for a fool all along. He wasn't going to marry her any more than the other girls. He was just using her for sport. So Jane took Tom's clothes bundle and food parcel to the constable and told him where Tom was hiding. And when wicked Tom expected Jane's soft lips in the dark, he found instead a pair of cuffs and a noose at the end of them.
Poor bloody bastard.
I warned you it was a sad tale, did I lie? And what's saddest is from that day to this, Jane never found another man she could love. And she weeps every night for the boy she sent to the gallows at Horsemonger Lane.
What a steaming pile of poppycock! You don't credit that, do you, gentlemen? Never was there a bitterer creature than a woman scorned. That Jane shopped him to the law for the gold, nothing more. She knew the price of a highwayman's head and trapped him into riding out so she could claim the reward.
She was heartbroken by his betrayal. The money was nothing to her. She never spent a penny of it.
What did she do then? Eat it?
She kept it to buy poor Tom a headstone, but she never found his grave.
That's because he was never hanged, you silly mare. Tom Robber escaped from Horsemonger Lane the night before his execution, and they never found him. He's been looking for Jane ever since, and now you've made me tell the end of my ballad, you witch. Here, have 'em. Have the cursed lot. The Ballad of Tom Robber, nopence, nopenny. Never liked that tune anyway.
Give me that! He never hanged? How can that be?
Oh, they hanged some, poor fella. Called him Tom to spare the gaoler's blushes. But it wasn't him. Been laying low all these years, they say. Wandering the country, trying to find a girl he can't forget. Maybe he's a ballad seller. That'd be a good disguise.
Maybe she is too. Maybe she's sung her story in every market square from here to Portsmouth, and still her art won't mend. Maybe she carries the reward money against her breast like a penance, like one of your saints with an air shirt. Maybe she shouldn't have been so jealous all those years ago.
Maybe he shouldn't have been so free with his smiles, and she would have believed it was her he loved, and her alone.
That'd make a good ballad, you know. If they met again by some miracle years later.
If they looked into one another's eyes.
Blue as heaven's wallpaper.
And sighed. And kissed.
You could charge threepence at least for a love story like that. Set it to a catchy tune, throw in a good chase scene by moonlight, call it The Highwayman Unhanged.
I'll write the chase verses on 2 conditions. First, we charge 4pence.
2pence each, a fair share.
And second, we call it The Ballad of Tom and Jane.